Hello and welcome to Connections, the forum for relationships, expression and healing. And we are in episode 51, and this is the third edition for this year, 2015. The title of our show today is Make Your Voice Heard, How to Ask for Money You Need for Your Work Without Fear. And I think it's a very important topic to talk about. Welcome. In our show, we are offering conversations and interviews regarding the most important areas of human life, such as relationships, personal expression and self-development, cultural development, as well as healing. The purpose of our show is to give you inspiration and also to teach you new skills with which to handle the issues which are connected with these topics. But before I introduce our special guest of today, Adele Michal, I think we should introduce ourselves. Margarita, do you want to begin?
Yes. I'm Margarita Cristalotis, and I help women who have some emotional issues so that they can reintegrate in life and function again, and so that both their career and their personal life gets better. And I have a retreat center here in Kingston for my private client called Enchantment. And yes, that says it all, I think.
It's about you. And I'm Heidi Hörnlein. I'm a transformational coach and a relationship counselor and also a voice therapist. So having your voice heard is also one of my topics, maybe a little bit from a different angle. I often work with people who don't yet feel fully realized in their lives, and I help them to explore their full potentials and to live a deeply fulfilling and happy life in love and in joy. I'm also the founder of the cultural association Paradiso Integrale. This is a virtual space where we do another Hangout series, and also a physical space in Italy, where we welcome you as a guest if you want to be here. With my husband Mark, we hold courses and retreats, and you are very welcome. Find us on our website, thepowerofrelationship.com. Before we enter into the conversation, welcome again. This is Connection Forum, and I hope you are able to listen to us and to watch us too. And please join us with your comments, and we will answer them, bringing them up on the screen. And even if you listen to the replay, don't hesitate to leave your comments on YouTube. And now finally to our special guest, Adele Michal. She helps mission-driven women in business to make more sales by becoming more authentic and magnetic while selling with integrity. She teaches her clients how to enter a peak state so that they create win-win situations for themselves and their prospects in every sales conversation. By developing and using an optimal selling state of mind and body, her clients close more sales to the right people, make more money, and fulfill their mission of serving through their business. Hello, Adele.
Hello, Heidi and Margarita. So nice to be with you again.
Yeah, it's nice that you come again. And you know, the introduction I just read for you makes me think I should become your client.
I would love to have you as my client, Heidi.
So why is it so difficult to ask the money for what we are doing?
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons. One is money is a very complicated concept for us. We have a lot of beliefs and feelings and experiences around money. So that's one whole thing. And then women actually saying that they are of value and that what they have to offer is of value is another whole Pandora's box that today I would like us to open and start to address, if that's okay with you all. So where I'd like to start today is to ask each one of you you two and who's listening, to say to yourself, I am valuable. I am valuable. And just notice how that makes you feel. I am valuable. So you may have some resistance. You may feel like, oh, good, that feels good to say. So what I'm going to ask is that you drop your awareness down into the base of your body. If you're sitting down at the, the bottom of your trunk, and that would be your root chakra, and say, I am valuable. And just notice what happens. And if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some clearing work, and this is work from theta healing and access consciousness, and also matrix energetics. Those are 3 of the modalities that I like to use. You may have your own, but let me do this now, and then we can discuss it after we do the clearing. So, I am valuable. Anything that stands in the way of your knowing your true value at the core of your being, at the core of your physical and spiritual being, delete, uncreate, and destroy across all time, space, dimensions, and realities now. Any way that your value has been distorted by the messages and the experiences and the emotions that you've had, we're going to delete, uncreate, and destroy all of that. Any way where you have been bought and sold the lie that you are not valuable, we're going to delete, uncreate, and destroy that across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Woof. Okay, so take a deep breath. Okay. So, Margarita. Margarita's having a little cough. It's not from this. Heidi, how does that land for you? Did you?
Yeah, I can tell you my process. At the beginning, the first time you said that with the value, I felt, no, it was sort of yes and no. When you asked us to go to the deep chakra, it felt much better.
Good.
It was more grounded, and I felt myself more, and so it's easier to feel the value, I guess. And then when you did this with the destroy and uncreate, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit too quick. I couldn't get into it yet. So probably I would need some more time to I don't know, imagine this or recall the moments. I wonder how it works in your system. Is it just the words, or do I have first to imagine these things, going back in past events and delete these? Because I was there deleting things which I don't really knew, sort of in the blue. So I wonder what this technique is about and how you do that.
Yes, what the technique is about, the techniques that I use are their energy clearing. So they work on the emotional and energetic realm. And then the body, so the mind may go, I don't know what she's talking about, but the body goes, oh yeah. The deeper knowing can know, oh yes, that concept. And this is a group clearing, so it may not be specifically targeted to exactly your needs. So it's a little bit more general. When I work with one-on-one, I can get very specific. And the way that it seems to me that that this works is that you locate a point in time and space. It's almost like on a globe, you locate the longitude and latitude and ask the truth to come into that. Because usually what hangs us up are conflicts and untruths. So if we bring in the truth, the light of truth, and send what's not true back to the light of truth, then that opens up the possibility for us to know the truth and to live the truth rather than to live a more inhibited life. And it can be complex because we're complex beings and we've lived a while, so we have a lot of experiences. And as I say, it's energetic and emotional. That's the realm I work on. Many people work on the body. I've never been guided to do that. So it's energetic and emotional, which is, if in energy work, there's a energetic template around our body that holds the grid for the body, the physical. So for me, this is why I work on the energy and the emotions, is because when you clear that level, the mental, the emotional, and the physical can be lifted up, can be energetically lifted up. So so some part of you may have gotten what I was doing, and maybe your rational mind was like, I don't really get this. It can work that way. And what you want to look for is, like you said, I feel more grounded, I feel more in my body, I feel more in my truth. That's really what we're going for. And so what you just said was, when I first said the sentence and then asked you to go down and deep into your body, the truth is there. It's not in our mind. Our mind can distort things pretty easily, but the truth is, at a very deep level, you know that you're valuable. Yeah.
I must say that when you talked about the root chakra, I had this sort of, it's like a tentacles like this moving inside of the root chakra, something like this.
Yes.
There was movement there. Something resonated. I don't know exactly what it was, but it started to move.
And did that feel good? Did that feel like a good feeling? Like something got activated?
Yeah, it got activated, yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. So if anybody who's listening wants to, they can chat, right? They can let us know what they experienced through the chat. Let's move up a chakra, up to the second chakra, which is in your pelvis, about 3 inches, for women, 3 inches below the navel and in the center of the body. And this is a perfect timing for this, because yesterday the planet Venus moved through the second gate in her ascension. She descended into the underworld last year, and now she's just coming out. So we're in the second chakra, which is for everyone on the planet. It's the opportunity to rebuild our creative expression, our abundance, and our sensuality in a more enlivening way. So if you'll drop your awareness down to your pelvis and say to yourself, I am valuable. Just notice what you experience.
There's like a sense of calm there. It's like, like a water that's just nice and calm.
Yes.
And for me, it is a sort of roundness, of a fullness.
Nice. So the second chakra is the water. It's our emotion. It's our creative abundance is there. So if we can, let's just clear anything that stands in the way of your creative abundance and enjoyment of your life, enjoyment of your work, enjoyment of prosperity. We're just going to send anything that stands in the way of that to the light. in anything that would enhance your creativity, your abundance, and your enjoyment of life, we're going to ask that that come in and be harmoniously added to your energy system. Whew. And just notice how that feels. And it does take the body longer to catch up than the mind. So let's just give the body a moment to integrate the knowing that you are valuable and the knowing that you have the creative opportunity to express yourself and your prosperity. Okay.
This feels for me almost exciting. There's something, something really good.
Yeah, look at your smile. Good. Good. How about you, Margarita? How's that feeling for you?
I feel something here in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably my cold or whatever it is that sits here. It's like blocking.
Oh,
that's right.
Okay.
So it comes up to here and it stops.
Okay, that's not unusual at all.
Mm.
Could we do some clearing for you there? Would that be okay?
Sure. Be happy to receive.
Yeah, so anything that stands in the way of your experiencing your value on all levels, we're going to delete, uncreate, and destory across all time, space, dimensions, and realities.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it to the light. All levels, lifetimes, languages, resolving all the history. And we're going to give you frequency 8 from the matrix energetics system. And just wrap that around your heart and let it dispel that block. Because the block is not truth and it's not you. It's something you adopted or took on or felt obligated to perpetuate.
I have to tell you what I experienced, like in a short time span. You know, when you have a movie that goes very, very, very fast, of bodies mutilated, bonded, any kind of harsh treatment, like a war zone, and being like, it was like bodies up and down that was not treated well. Several different scenes of that. I couldn't discern exactly what they were, but it was that. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. This can be a very harsh reality here on this planet. And, we've all, if you hold with the theory of past lives, which I do, I think there's stories we hold in our psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And so the shock and trauma of bodies being mistreated, humans being mistreated, mistreating each other, being mistreated, that could reside in your heart because you're very sensitive and you're a very caring person.
Yeah.
How's it feeling now?
It feels better.
Good.
But it was so immediate. I have to say, it was like it just came up, boom,
Mm-hmm. So if there are any past lives where you were the perpetrator, we're going to send any guilt or shock or remorse. We're going to send that to the light.
Mm.
And any past lives, any experiences where you were the victim, we're going to take the cell, shock, and trauma, the pain, the regret, the fear, the terror. We're going to take all that and send it to the light. And the anger and the rage at the perpetrator. It's going to uncouple that whole polarity and send it to the light, so you don't have to be sitting there anymore.
Yeah.
Whew.
That was a big chunk there.
Yeah. And anywhere where you're carrying your forebears, worrying, either doing it or having it done to them, we're going to send all that to the light. And any obligation, oath, vow, contract, habit, vow, allegiance, fealty that you have to war, to mistreatment of others, to being mistreated, and from your forebears, we're going to send all that to the light.
I'm feeling almost nauseous.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It's muddling through.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna process this for another 24 hours. This is big for you. This is big. And you're going to want to make sure you drink lots of fluids and you'll rest today, because I know you haven't been feeling well. So just, this is another thing to process. Okay.
Thank you. It's probably a bigger release that I used. I went into thinking what's head cold or a flu, something. I was in bed 2 days. But this makes a lot of sense.
Is it? Good.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well,
because
thank
I've
you.
carried that with me for a long time. And
Yeah.
I have such an aversion to looking at violent movies or watching any kind of violence. It's just abhorring to me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It just hurts me too bad. But I think if we can own both sides of the pole, the perpetrator and the victim, we neutralize it, so we don't have to go to either pole. We can stay in our center and stay in our value.
I do agree that we probably have done equal measure of both sides of the coin. Although it's easier to remember when it was something done to you.
Yep.
Rather than, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
But,
yes, I agree, and it's important to me too to think that I had done that. But if we are all one, then the perpetrators are us, and we are the perpetrators, and the victims are us, and we are the victims. And part of raising the consciousness is to realize we don't have to play either role. We can.
It's a very good reminder.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that with me. I hope that was helpful for some other people too. And how are you feeling now, Margarita?
Well, at the beginning of the show, my head was almost like I'm going to go lay down anytime. But now I'm there. I'm staying in here.
Yeah, good. And when you go back down to your pelvic area, how does that feel? I am valuable.
It feels good.
Good. And how's your heart feeling?
Good. It feels good. It opened that up, but I still have something at the solar plexus, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So in my work, I find that the first 3 chakras, 1, 2, and 3, we've worked with 1, we've worked with 2. Let's work with 3. And we're stopping at the half hour, right? So we have like 6 minutes left. Is that right?
Yeah, we have to 11:45.
Oh, okay. So we have some more time. So I'd like everyone listening. Now, hang on. Let me check in with Heidi. Heidi, how are you doing with all this?
I'm fine with that. It's good, and it was very interesting, the process of Margarita, so thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So now let's move up to the third chakra. And the reason these three chakras are so important is because they're the baser chakras. The upper ones are more spiritual, if you will. These are more based in the body, based in the human experience. And as Margarita and I were just saying, sometimes the human experience is not something we want to participate in very fully. So I find a lot of people who are interested in spirituality, if we'll work with the polarities, if you will, with the energies of the first three chakras, it means that we can be more present, we can bring more spiritual presence into the world, and we can bring our gifts more into the world, which is important, I think, to many of us. So if you'll think about your solar plexus, which is that power center, that chakra right where your ribs come together above your navel, and say, I am valuable, as you place your awareness here. I am valuable.
There is a huge resistance to that there.
Yeah.
Like
okay. Yeah.
Stiffness.
Okay. So if we could go back to the conversation of perpetrator-victim, I think that the energy we need here is forgiveness. So anywhere where you haven't forgiven yourself for being a perpetrator or being a victim, anywhere where you haven't forgiven yourself for being a human and having human desires, needs, and drives, anywhere where you don't know how to forgive yourself or feel that someone else hasn't forgiven you, we're going to delete, uncreate, and destroy all of that across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Wow. Anywhere where you're holding yourself separate from the light of truth because you are not forgiven and you cannot forgive, we're going to delete, uncreate, and destroy across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Oof. And we're going to show you how to forgive. Many of us think we know how, but we don't really. We're going to give you Creator's understanding, perspective, and definition of forgiveness. And we're going to show you how. We're going to give you the download of forgiveness, how to truly forgive yourself and others, past situations, so that you're no longer burdened by them. It's not about letting the other person off the hook or forgetting. It's about letting yourself be free from the experience. And letting yourself bathe in the light of truth through the doorway of forgiveness. Nice, nice. Everybody's doing really well. Good. Okay, so just take a deep breath and let that settle in.
It intensifies, like it's like and going into more tension, and then it's like releasing.
Good work, Mark.
Pressing in and then coming out.
Yeah. Good.
It's very physical. I mean, I can't access my mind today because of what happened in the last 2 days, but I could feel my body.
Good. Ah, good work. So now, if you would, everyone, align your root chakra with your second chakra, with your third chakra, and in a column of light coming down from the center of the cosmos, letting your fourth, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown chakra all align, and send the energy, let the column of light go down into the earth as well. So you're connected heaven, earth, and all parts of you are aligned with light. And now say, I am valuable. And just notice what occurs. Whew. Okay, what do you notice, Margarita?
I notice a slight resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit.
Good. Okay. Where is the resistance?
I know that when prana moves in the body, it moves like this speed, like this speed, right? Whereas electrical things goes boop, boop, boop. And I can actually feel it, like it's moving like just like that. So I should not be impatient with that, right?
Yeah, thank you for that distinction. I didn't know that before, so thank you for that. Yeah. So I would love for you to tell me how you're doing tomorrow, Margarita, because we know you're going to have an integration cycle here for the next 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I would like to share with you how it felt like when you said this alignment, no, from connecting heaven and earth. And this, for me, felt very amazing, because I felt like if I was very high and very aligned and very, it was a serene feeling, a feeling of it's all right, everything is all right, it was, I like that.
Good.
And also think, my mind who thinks, thinking about to be able to connect heaven and earth by your body, which we do actually, but to feel into it, this makes really, it opens up. It was good. I really like that.
Good. And how do your bottom 3 chakras feel now, when you say, especially when you say I am valuable?
They feel very grounded, very, like a bow. I feel like, here I am, I don't fly away, but I am. I have a stand. I have a, how can I say that? A position. It's not a position. It's my let's say my butt on the ground, my feet on the ground.
Yes.
It is supporting me. Let me say it this way. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if we have our chakras lined up, and our topic today was finding your voice to ask to be paid for your work. So let's go up to the throat chakra, which I personally am having some issues with right now, which is so interesting because I really want to find more of my voice and express it. And doing things like this is a very wonderful way to do that. So thank you for the opportunity. So just notice in your throat whether there's any constriction or mine feels a little bit like sandpaper. So just any discomfort, we're just going to ask that to go to the light. Oof. And ask for a download of Creator's truth and light into our throat chakra so that our voice carries truth, compassion, and love in the interactions that we have with ourselves and each other, and that our work is effective in bringing more truth and light to the planet. And so it is. Whew.
It's so immediate. It's so immediate. It's like opening the spaces. I mean, this is a little bit different topics that we have talked about, right? Because now we do process, right?
Yeah.
And, for those who is listening, this is like a process to actually be able to ask, right?
Yes. Yes. So in your throat chakra, say to yourself, I am valuable. I am valuable. And in fact, it would be really good to do some mirror practice with this. I know some people like it, some don't, but to stand in front of your mirror and look in your eyes and say, I am valuable. I am valuable. I am valuable. And just notice what arises. And anything that's coming up that's uncomfortable, you now know how to send it to the light. That's all you have to do is say, send it to the light, and it will leave. It may take a little while for the body to process it. And if there's something you don't know that you need to know, okay, so let's all download this. We're just going to download this. And everybody can do this. You don't have to be trained in theta healing to do this. It is a great modality if you like modalities, but you can just do this because you're always connected. You're always connected to heaven and to earth. And they like it, our invisible allies like it when we ask. So let's ask, please download me with the perfect energy, words, and emotions so that I ask for money for my work, my contribution, and my value. I ask for and get money for my work, my contribution, and my value. Now, how does that feel to you guys?
Well, it almost feels embarrassing. There's a little tiny bit of embarrassment.
Okay.
Like, how much can I ask here?
Okay. Well, think of a figure.
I'm sharing this because I don't want to hide this.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Because it's very important to actually say, yeah, there is a little resistance there, and I could release it, and I'm releasing it.
There you go.
For me, it was a sort of hope, you know, not hope, how to say, a possibility opening up. Good. I would call it like this. Mm-hmm. Very good. And you know what I would like to say, because we were saying at the beginning that I needed more time, and when people are watching who are not used to do practices like this, normally, you know, you need some practice to do that and to have it so in a quick way. We both, and especially Margarita, is really in energy healing, so for her it's easy to feel it because she is for years doing this. For me, some things are easier, some things not so easy. And if you think it is all woo-woo, I can tell you it's not. You can really practice this sensitivity and to learn these processes. I have this is emotional release technique, which I'm practicing, and this is working now in seconds. At the beginning it took time and I didn't believe that it worked and so on, and now I really can use it, you know. Maybe when it's very heavy, maybe half a minute it takes me. But, you need the practice, and even mind-centered people like I was time ago, like Margarita was, which I know, we come to the understanding that these things work and that they are not only inventions of, you know, imaginations.
Yes.
It's really true, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And going behind in the inside of the computer, you have to go inside of the computer to fix a fault in the computer. Mm-hmm. So this is what we do with our body. We go in and fix something inside. Yes. On this energetic level, which is very profound, and we would think that if you ask to have more money, that you have to balance your chakras and sending light and all of these things. Yes, it's needed because that's the way you can adjust your energy body.
Right, and as you adjust your energy body, then your physical reality starts to shift.
Absolutely.
We've all done sessions with people where they came in very stressed and they left looking 10 years younger because it took some of that energy and emotion off of them, and they didn't have to walk out with that. And this is the same. This is the same.
Yeah, and the mind is also released. You know, we can use it in a different way when we have this, I don't know how to call it, relaxation. It's not really relaxation. It's also, but it's deeper. It's more than that. And then the mind can work in a different way.
Right, and we access the deeper knowing, which our forebrain, our conscious brain, is actually a pretty slow serial processor. The rest of our mind, which is in our body and the older parts of our brain, is very, very, it's a parallel processor. It's very fast, and we're taking in information all the time that never gets to the conscious awareness because we don't need it, and it would overwhelm our forebrain. So doing this kind of work, you're actually accessing a lot more of your knowing. Yeah. So I feel better too. Wow, thank you all for playing with me today. And I would just like to leave everyone with two things. One is, do your mirror work if you choose to. I am valuable. Because, and as you know you're valuable, then other people will know your value and will want to pay you for what you do for them. And it's a value exchange, and that's what money is. It's a value exchange. We can't give it away because it's not as valuable to the other person. And we want to be paid for what we do. That's the way this world is. You know, money is involved in almost everything. The second thing, if I may, is to tell people if they want my free gift. May I tell them about that?
Of course.
Yeah. So if you're interested in knowing more about how your mind makes movies about your money, inner money movies, you can download my free gift at womenmakemoremoney.com/gift. womenmakemoremoney.com/gift, and I would love to see you there because I'd love to give you that gift.
So wonderful, really, Adele. It was a wonderful session. I thank you so much because I think it's the first time that we've filled the whole session with a practice, and whew, thank you.
You're welcome. It's interesting, and I always love learning from you, Heidi, too, about what you do. So yeah, maybe that's another direction you can take so people know more about how the healing of the planet is evolving. Yeah.
Yeah, I work with a little bit differently, not so much with energies, more with belief systems and old agreements and stuff. But we could do that too one time, and I can walk you through my processes if you are interested.
Great. Yeah. I know it would benefit.
And Margarita, wonderful that you have been able to be here and to do all the process work, and thank you. And shall I? Do you want to say your takeaway, your last words?
Sure. I am glad to see Adele here. The first session she did with us last year was really powerful also. So I'll be happy to have you back, Adele. And this is very valuable. I'm going to say this again for anyone who's looking at this. What Adele has shared with us is a very powerful process. And if you do it, you will be able to actually ask for money because you're going to feel more valuable.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And the first and also this episode, you can see the replay in our website, hangoutonconnections.com. So I would like to tell you who's next week. We will have Anna Hoffman here, And she is a very well-known person on Google+. She has the Traffic Generation Cafe, where she talks about how you can have traffic on your websites. But this time, we won't talk about that, but we will talk about how is the life as an expat. Why would you choose to live in another country? And she is a Russian and lives in America. Margarita is Swedish and lives in Canada. I am German and live in Italy. So I think it would be a nice exploration to see why we are going abroad, what is our gain, and what are the problems. So if anybody considers to go maybe for the pension time, for older times, live in Italy, so many people have this idea. So you might, be interested to see what is the pros and cons. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you next week in our Connections show. Bye-bye.
Bye.